Hello everybody! As requested, today we're gonna have a contribution guide. I'm gonna give you some techniques to easily get rich in Roots of Pacha during your first year. But before that, show me some love by booping that like and subscribe for more indie game guides. So I split this guide into 4 parts, which are fishing, mining, animals, and processing techniques. And I know what you're thinking. Ma'am, this is a farming game. How could you not include a farming category? Well, my dear human, that's because in this game, you have to actually plant every crop in order to level them to level 5. So there's no point of comparing them for the sake of contribution. In the end, we'll be forced to plant all of the crops anyway. So let's just hop right to this guide. Fishing. As I mentioned on my previous video, I highly recommend fishing for contribution in the early and late game. But fishing is just the second best option for earning contribution in my opinion. Sure, it's also a lot of work and can be boring over time, but it's one of the fastest ways to get a good amount of contribution while waiting for your crops to grow. Though in the early game, you'd have lesser chance of getting rarer or more expensive fishes because you probably still don't have a harpoon or fishing rarity accessories yet. Which means that it's better to look at the base price of the most common fishes per location. And as shown here, the overall best location would be the savanna, as it has the highest base contribution for common fishes. But if you plan on focusing on upgrading your fishing rarity, then I suggest that you switch to the beach, as it would be super easy to spawn goni, trilobite, and madder. You'd even have the chance to get rarer seasonal fishes like tuso during summer and medusalion during winter. Would you believe me when I say that you can earn up to 5,000 to 7,000 contribution a day on fishing alone? So if you work on your animals and crops during the day as well, you can earn way more than that. But of course you wouldn't believe me, I think. Which is why I prepared some data and evidence as usual. Here's the average catch that I get from fishing at the beach during winter, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at max fishing rarity, spawn, and catching accessories. I start at 10 a.m. because I reserve 6 a.m. to 9:30 for checking on my crops and animals for more income. It's usually around 4 to 5 gonies, 4 to 5 trilobites, and 3 to 4 madder, and sometimes I get extra medusalions. These are their prices when pickled. I only catch fishes that has 4 to 5 bars because I pickle them, and pickling fish with lower rarity feels like a waste of resources. So whenever I see that there's no 4 bars, I just refresh it like this. Mining. If relaxing at the fishing minigame is not your thing, and you're feeling a little bit adventurous, then try out mining. This is a great alternative for fishing in the mid and late game if you choose to sell your gold, silver, and gems. But okay, you might be thinking, are you okay, Mir? Gems are like very important for maxing out things, right? Yes, human, it is. But you can sell the gems in the early and mid game because that's a huge boost, as all the gems amount to 60 contribution each, while gold and silver gives 40 and 30 respectively. That's not bad for early spring and summer during our first year, because we probably haven't unlocked better processors for our crops yet. See how I only cleared 2 rooms and these drops are already worth 1,300 contribution? But sell gems only if you're not rushing on gifting, upgrading your accessories, or if you can save up all the gems that you need for accessory crafting and upgrade. That way, you can sell the excess gems. Here's what you need to know about accessory upgrades. Crafting accessories takes 5 of their base gem. Upgrading it to silver or gold takes 15 gems and 15 base materials. Upgrading to electrum takes 25 gems and 20 to 30 base material and an additional material which is silver or gold. It varies per accessory, but the gem count stays the same. So that's a total of 45 gems that you need to save per accessory. Take the gazelle anklet for example. It has a sapphire base. This means that you need to save up 4 to 5 sapphires if you want to craft it from scratch and upgrade it to Electrum. And if you're wondering which accessories are the best for money making, I recommend the green toe and green thumb ring set for crops. For fishing, the accessory set that you'd want is bait necklace, bracelet of quietude, and luring anklet. For mining, you'd want carnivorous bangle and the pendant of luminescence. Animals. Making animal products as a main source of income is actually my most preferred method, but it can take some time before you can say that it is entirely stable. It takes some time because you'd have to breed numerous times to max out the quality of the product and the speed of production. But before we go over the product, let's first talk about the animal themselves. The gender of the animals takes a role in the whole money-making thing because the products depend on the gender of the ibexes, ostriches, and jungle fowls. You don't need to worry about the gender of those that produces furs and manure though. Planning is also much needed from tuning up to breeding. Before tuning, you can right-click the animal and view their info to know their gender. And for the ibexes and ostriches, it's best to only have one male and the rest should be female. This is because male ibexes gives horns, which gives far less contribution than ibex milk, especially when it's processed into cheese and aged cheese. This is also the case for ostriches, as male gives feathers, while female lay eggs that can be processed into mayos and pickled. Everything about animal info from this point is gonna sound so horrible, but in order to maximize your profit for animals, here's what you gotta do. In the beginning, it would be best to tame a single male ibex and 3 females in a small shed. Afterwards, breed a male ibex with a female that has the highest production speed. Improving the product quality can wait a little bit because the top priority is that you can get to milk the female ibex every day so you can make more cheese and fast cash. Before the baby ibex arrive, you'd want to milk the remaining 2 female ibex on the shed and release one of them to make some room. And once the baby arrives, the first thing that you want to do is to check its gender. If it's male, release your Gen 1 male ibex so that the Gen 2 baby can take its place. But only do so when the Gen 2 baby grows into an adult. That way, your Gen 1 male ibex would still give you horns before getting replaced. I'm really sorry. Once it's an adult, you'd want to match the Gen 2 male ibex with a Gen 1 female ibex that has the highest production speed stat. So what I'm saying is, you're basically matching it with its mother. I'm sorry. Anyways, on the other hand, if it's a female, keep it until it grows into an adult. Once it does, breed it with your Gen 1 male ibex. This would make a Gen 3 baby that has higher stats. Repeat this method until you get a male and female baby ibex that has max product quality and max production speed. And once those max male and female babies grow into adults, slowly release the rest of your non-max stat ibexes to make space for the max stat ones, because you'd have to breed those 2 max ibexes a lot. Also, consider upgrading your shed for more room and auto collection. You can also do this technique for ostriches. For their products, turn the milk into cheese and age it in a cask. For eggs, putting them in picklers is the best, and turning them into mayo would be the second best choice. Not that there's a third choice anyway. It's important to always process your products. Now let's talk about jungle fowls. In the case of jungle fowls, this should be reversed. You'd only want 1 female and the rest should be males. This is because the price of feathers are way higher than the price of jungle fowl eggs. Even if you process the eggs, the price of the pickled egg is certainly not worth going through all the trouble of juicing, brewing, and making vinegars just to make pickled eggs. Now for horses, bisons, and the others, you can breed them in whatever order as long as you get the quality production and production speed at max. You can do the nightmare method that I mentioned earlier, except that there's no need to take gender into account for taming or releasing. Handling their products is also simple. For those that produce fur, turn those into yarn. For horses, contribute the manure as they are because you really don't need compost. Trust me. crop quality increases as they level anyway, so it's best to just level the crops instead of using the precious manure for compost. Or maybe just use normal poo for compost. That works too. Processing. Every item in this game is better processed, with the act of turning them into pickles being the best choice of them all. This is pretty much everything that you need to keep in mind for processing. Fishes should always either be sun-dried or pickled, as fermented and smoked fishes give slower contribution. For crops, it does not matter if you sun-dry or grind them. What's important is you turn them into juice for making pickles. For animal products, furs can only be turned into yarns, and ostrich eggs should always be processed. Pickling is better than turning them into mayo, but if your picklers are fully occupied by fish or crops, then turning the eggs into mayo is still good. If you're lazy, then your go-to is the fermenter for crops and sun-drying for fishes. If you want to make the most of everything, then pickling is the best choice. And that's it for now. I hope you found a method that suits you best. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more indie game guides coming your way. Bye-bye!